Hey Robert, so first off I want to say really beautiful playing, and that is an awesome ukulele. So hello and major props to the Kanilea fam. Now there's a couple of things that I want to talk about in this video. One is going to be just a technique. I'm going to help you with the hammer-on pull-off. But the second one is a little bit of a trickier concept to grasp. And it actually took me, I rewatched your performance a few times to figure out there was something in my ear that was kind of, seemed like it was missing, but it took me a while to kind of figure out what it was. So I'm going to give you a suggestion on something to work on and use in your playing. So the first thing I want to point out is that the uke and your playing, not only the uke, because the uke doesn't play itself, but your sustain is beautiful, and that's the key thing with this song, is we really want it to sustain, and every note rings into the next one, every chord rings into the next one. So all that was very nicely done. Now, the one thing, and this is especially for the first two melodies, not the one that's faster, because you're moving too fast. But I think if you added a little bit of vibrato into your playing, you get a nice coloring, and that's the thing that I think that was missing to my ear. So for those that don't know vibrato, I've got a lesson on it. I'm going to link it in the little description that I write for this video. And there's different ways to apply vibrato, but the key thing with vibrato is that all you're doing is you're putting variation into the pitch. So if we were to play a note, let's say we play the 7th fret, which is an E note on the first string. So if I play just the note by itself, we can hear it's very flat, just dum. But if we add vibrato, it's the same thing a singer does. Then you're going to hear dum. You hear that wave in it. You hear that variation. Versus just going flat. Now the thing that is good about this too is that it helps to add sustain. So when you're playing through this tune, you can put vibrato into different chords or different phrases, really up to taste. One thing that you can do is you can watch back on my performance and just notice where the hand shakes on different notes and different chords to get an idea of kind of where I like to splice it in. But even on just like a single note with opens above it, it just helps to add a little bit more color versus. So that's a pretty noticeable difference. Hopefully the camera picks it up. Let's get a better one. So it's a little subtle thing that goes a long way. It's much easier to hear in person. So check out that lesson. There's different ways that you can do vibrato, like soft or more pronounced. But check that out. I think it'll be a good thing to add into your playing. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is just that little hammer-on. I think it was like bar 20, somewhere around there. Out of the A minor, it's a hammer-on pull-off. So that's basically what the lick sounds like. So let's remove the chord on this one, and let's get rid of the first note, this 3rd fret. And let's just focus on the bottom, or the ending part of it. Now the trick with the hammer-ons and pull-off is that every note should ring at the same volume, as if you were to pluck every note. So pluck, hammer. So that's the first thing that we want to understand. So we need a strong hammer on. So you want to make sure that you hammer on the fingertip. And when you pull off, you don't pull off straight up. You pull off coming down a little bit. So offset. Okay, so you have hammer, pull off, and same concept applies going from the second to the open, kind of an offset pull-off. So remove all of the chord in that first note and this last note, and just work on getting the volume to be the same and getting the execution. So enough force to make every note ring out as if it was plucked. So anyways, we're getting a little long on this video, but the main thing that you want to work on is just the first part. Try and experiment a little bit with adding vibrato. Let me know if it makes sense. Check out that lesson on it, and watch both videos to get, or watch my performance to get an idea of when you can sprinkle it in. And always remember, it's up to you when you want to apply it, because music is always up to the interpreter, which is you.